So the White House condemning the brutal slaughter of 21 Egyptians, but refusing to call the victims Christian, instead referring to them as Egyptian citizens. And the Reverend Franklin Graham, son of evangelist Billy Graham, believes there is a religious double standard. Quote, "Can you imagine the outcry if 21 Muslims had been beheaded by Christians? Where is the universal condemnation by Muslim leaders around the world?" End quote. David Webb, radio talk show host, Fox News contributor. Leslie Marshall, Fox News contributor and syndicated radio talk show host as well. Good morning to both of you. A religious double standard, David. Start.
Bill, I want America to pay attention to something because I did it again this morning. It's my job. It's my duty as a reporter, as a commentator. I watched the video. And, you know, it's a somber topic, but it goes far beyond that. The world can galvanize, and words and statements have meanings, but they can galvanize around words all they want. But this will only be eradicated or stemmed in any which way when men with the will, with weapons, eradicate this evil. I respect what the Pope and others have said, but I also acknowledge what they're talking about and what Franklin Graham's talking about, when in contrast, there are Saudis that condemn the killing of a Muslim in North Carolina as terrorist, but will not condemn openly ISIS beheading men on a beach to send a statement about blood in the water of the Mediterranean.
But it is true that Egypt went after 64, and apparently, according to its Air Force, killed 64 terrorists in the town of Derna in Libya. Now,
Bill, with all due respect, that's 64 out of tens of thousands.
Okay, but they did take action.
Yes.
And so did the government of
Credit
Libya.
to them.
There's a statement out of UAE as well. I'll get to in a minute. First, Leslie, go.
Thank you. And thank you, Bill, for mentioning that, because that's what I want to mention. We have to look at the fact that ISIS has killed over 10,000 Muslims, wounded over 20,000 in Iraq and Syria. We have to look at the fact that although Mr. Graham wants outrage, there is outrage. Not only has King Abdullah of Jordan, the president of Egypt, Christians and Muslims in Egypt, and Libya, both countries taking action militarily, Saudi Arabia, the Muslim Times, the Arab Nation. I could go on looking at all of the pages of condemnation from the Muslim world this morning. So when you said, where is the outrage? There is outrage. Where was the outrage when over 10,000 Muslims have been killed? There hasn't been that. So I would say that there is a double standard. I would say that when ISIS kills Christians, when they kill Jews, when they kill Americans, we are all outraged. But I think that the outrage stops when the victims are Muslim men, women, and children.
Well,
no, it doesn't,
stand by 1 second. Some would argue, too, it's about time. A series of things I want to bring to your attention. Greg Burke's the spokesperson of the Vatican, used to be a colleague of ours here at the Fox News Channel. This is a mass the Pope held today on behalf of those Coptic Christians who were killed in Libya. There's a headline in the New York Post that talks about Pope's rage. The statement he put out yesterday was very strong and very emotional. Cardinal Dolan here in New York on ISIS, quote, "These aren't sporadic attacks. This is part of an orchestrated fanaticism, an ideology that sees Christianity, Judaism, and any religion of peace as the enemy," end quote. Now, David.
The numbers matter, Bill. Stephanie talks about the outrage. The numbers are that we're not killing the enemy. And it's time we stop playing around with this, even as a nation, under the term war weary, when if we unleash our special forces and we unleash our warriors to do the job, because the world's a better place when America leads, not falls behind. It's great that Abdullah of Jordan and the Egyptians and others have taken at least a form of action. But there should be 10,000 dead ISIS, not 10,000 dead Muslims, which will continue. And when you look at other groups, what we see now going on around the world is that we have a cancer called radical Islam that has metastasized not only in the Middle East, not only in Africa with Boko Haram, who are about to attack and have been probing a city with 200,000 Christian refugees, but we see a global goal for them and not a global response, not words, not a global response of any consequence that is severe enough to even stem the tide of their advance.
So we
they
will
have
see,
1/3 of the territory in Syria, 1/3 of Iraq.
Got it. We will see what comes out of the White House from this two-day summit. Leslie, what is your expectation from that, if anything?
Well, Well, quite frankly, if we could all, stop worrying about labeling, although I think we all know these are jihadists, these are radical Islamists, and not try and blame the majority of 1.6 billion people
We're not,
for the
Leslie,
sins of
don't
these
try
murderers,
that.
these terrorists. David, please. And the bottom line here is we have to have, and I think David and I would agree, all of us would agree, the world agrees, we have to have a strategy to defeat them. Bill, you said something earlier in the program about geography and about landmass and about the caliphate that they're trying to build, in which they've been very successful, especially in Syria,
For now,
and less successful in Iraq, but that we as the world, not just the United States, have a responsibility and an ability, quite frankly, militarily, to destroy them by taking that away from them. And I think that's what has to come out of the White House and our allies.
Franklin Graham says the
6 years.
storm is coming. If it concerns you like it does me, share this. David, we got to go. Leslie, thanks to you as well.
Thank you,
Leslie
Bill.
Marshall, David Webb. Appreciate it.